Welcome to Come Get Woo Woo. We're your hosts, Becky and Ro, here to hold space for the unseen, the unspoken, and the deeply felt. This is a place for seekers, for those who sense that there's more, for those who hear between the words, feel beyond the room, and know without knowing why.
Together, we'll explore the language of spirit, the clarity of your clairs, and the signs that rise up when you're ready to notice. You're not imagining it, you're remembering it. This is Come Get Woo Woo.
Have you ever smelled a scent that instantly brought you back to a memory, even though the source wasn't there? Or picked up an aroma that seemed to signal a shift in energy? Welcome to the magic of Clairalience. Hey, woo-woo seekers, welcome back to Come Get Woo-Woo with Becky and Ro. I'm Becky.
And I'm Ro. Today, we're deep diving into what Clairalience really is, how it connects to your energy, how you can gently open up this incredible gift. We'll explore how it connects with your chakras, the different ways it can show up, and some of the lesser known clairs that intertwine with it. We'll also share the ways you can strengthen this ability and offer insights that go beyond what's in our journals or meditations. Think of this as a chance to really expand your understanding, to recognize how Clairalience might be working in your life already, and how you can invite it in even more.
So, what is Clairalience? It's known as clear smelling. It's a form of extrasensory perception, or ESP, where a person can smell odors that are not physically present. It's one of the clair senses, which are intuitive gifts that go beyond the 5 physical senses. This ability can manifest in different ways. One of the ways is smelling scents associated with loved ones who have passed away. So you might suddenly smell your grandmother's perfume or a deceased friend's cigar smoke, even though no one is smoking and no perfume is in the room. This is often seen as a message or a sign of their presence.
You also might smell scents related to a place or event. You might smell a particular scent like a specific type of flower and later discovered it was connected to a historical event or a spirit in that location. You might also receive scents that are symbolic. The scent itself can be symbolic. For example, smelling roses may be interpreted as a sign of divine love or the presence of an angel. Clairalience is a way for a person to gain psychic or spiritual information through the sense of smell, providing insights that can't be explained by logic or the physical world. So, Becky, what's the first smell you remember that felt spiritual or otherworldly?
So one of the ones that I've actually talked about before is, and it was one of my first smells, was actually my grandmother, and that I associate a perm with her. So anytime that I smell a perm, especially when there isn't a perm present, because you and I both know that that's a very distinct smell, then I know that my grandmother's there, and it comes in very quickly and leaves very quickly. Yeah.
In a way, that's good because that smell can be harsh.
That it is. It's a very, very potent smell. All right. So did you know that recognizing if you have clairalience is a matter of paying attention to the subtle experiences? While most people have a sense of smell, people with clairalience will notice specific patterns that go beyond the ordinary. Here are some of the ways that you can actually know whether or not you have this gift. So first, you have the sudden, unexpected sense, kind of like I was just talking about, the smell of the perm. That's my grandmother. These scents are often fleeting, appearing for a moment and then disappearing just as quickly. This isn't a memory. This can be an odor that feels like a message. Having a highly developed sense of smell is also an indicator. You might notice that your physical sense of smell is more sensitive than others. You might be able to pick up on subtle odors that others miss, or a particular smell might be more intense, almost overwhelming. This heightened physical sense can be an indicator of an active clairalience.
You know how you have people that their only job is to smell perfume, and they need to smell the different floral hints, or like maybe wine smeller or something?
Yeah, I know that they have a name, but I can't think of what they are. I bet you they have a really great sense of clairalience.
Yeah, especially to notice like all those little hints of different florals, maybe even different grapes in the wines.
From my understanding, they're very in tune with their sense of smell.
I know I couldn't have that job. I get a headache walking into Macy's in the perfume.
I don't quite get that bad. I can't, like, I try to pick out like scents like in a candle or something like that. But I have a long way to go. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Even candles need to be like a light candle. It can't be a heavy smell.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I wonder how it would work. So, and this is just way off subject, and I probably shouldn't go here, but like my sister has a very limited sense of smell because she lost it during COVID.
Oh.
So now some of her scents are coming back, but like one of her favorite scents was patchouli. She loved the smell of patchouli. Now that fragrance actually takes on a totally different tone. She can't stand it anymore. It
Wow.
actually, yeah. So like it's changed even how she smells. Like popcorn, some things smell like popcorn that aren't popcorn. But what she's remembering what popcorn smells like, that's what it comes across. So I wonder in cases like that, how that works.
Oh, yeah. And if you had clairalience and then you lost your sense of smell, that's interesting. Okay.
So she doesn't have a whole lot of scent.
Wow.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So another indicator you might associate with clairalience is smelling with specific emotions and energies. For example, you might walk into a room and get a feeling about it that is accompanied with a subtle smell, like a sickly sweet odor when energy feels like it's negative, or a fresh floral scent when it's a positive, uplifting energy.
That's interesting.
Like, that the person I've never been into a boardroom before, but maybe somebody else has, where you can feel the nerves coming off of somebody, but it's associated. You actually smell maybe the body odor that comes with it too, even though this person isn't smelling, but you are so sensitive to it that you smell it.
Yes. Okay. I could get that. So if you could give off a sick type of smell. Okay. You could use smells as a form of validation. You might notice that a particular scent appears just as you're thinking about a specific person or situation, serving as a form of confirmation. For example, you might be debating a decision and suddenly smell something that you associate with guidance or positive energy. There's also intuitive sensing. You might be able to intuitively smell when something is off about a person, a place, or a situation, even if you can't logically explain why. This is a subtle gut feeling that is connected to your sense of smell. So that is really intuition smelling.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if I've ever experienced that, and I just didn't put it two and two together. I don't think I have. I'm going to have to start paying attention.
Yeah.
You know, what I've noticed with all of our episodes that we do all the research for, I really need to start paying attention to everything that's going on around me. And
Ooh.
apparently I live a little bit in the dream world, in the clouds, because I don't get it.
No, but like, if you think about it, you're making a decision. You don't normally think, oh, did I smell something that goes with it?
Well, and that's the thing about it is, so, you know, I think Clairalience and Clairgustance kind of get left off because um, it's not a practice that you use every day.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you have those senses and you use those senses every day, but it's not one of the ones that you typically go to.
Unless you, of course, that was your main sense, you know,
Right.
but
Right.
when it's not, yeah, you have to kind of like force yourself to do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like when we were researching the exercises that we're going to talk about later, I'm like, oh, I kind of already do that. And I wasn't something I associated with Clairalience, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Interesting.
Lots of food for thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have one more here is a warning sign. You're about to walk in a building and you get a quick, strong whiff of something like sulfur or a sickly, sweet odor that feels out of place. This may be your signal to be cautious, or the energy inside is not in alignment with your well being. Now, if I got a sulfur scent, I think I would see if I continued to smell it.
Oh, like, so being that I've been to your house, I know that you have a gas stove. That's
Yep.
the first thing that I would go to as opposed to as a warning sign. So it's kind like I said, this is another example of like, I need to start paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I smell it, I would want to continue to smell for it. You know, so if it was continually there, then I wouldn't want to enter a building.
Yeah, if it was just fleeting though, it wouldn't I wouldn't heed it for what it's actually being meant to be, a
Right.
warning sign. I wouldn't heed
Correct.
it because I'm an investigator, so I will go and investigate where the smell is coming from.
But if you just go into a building, you probably couldn't investigate.
This
Hey,
is
lady,
true.
what are you doing here?
Don't mind me. I'm just smelling something here. God, that would go over real well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you recognize these experiences, it's a good sign that clairalience is one of your intuitive gifts. The more you acknowledge and pay attention to these occurrences, the more you will be able to understand the meaning. So, what about walking past someone and catching a scent that reminds you of someone else? Do you think that's a coincidence or a message?
You know, I was thinking about this, and because I see numbers, right? So if I get, I automatically assume that, oh, it's a message. So I don't know why I don't automatically assume if I smell a certain smell that I associate with a person, why it isn't them letting me know that they're there, or to think of them, or you know what I mean? It isn't my first go-to. So I think there is, but it's not a daily practice for me. How about you?
Oh, well, I could understand why you might feel that way because you work at a salon, and since you associate perm with your grandma, if there's perm in the salon, then you just might associate with just a perm being a perm. So that's kind of hard, you know, to think that maybe this is a message.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think that it is a message, or do you think it's just coincidence sometimes?
I think it can be a message, especially if it reminds you of someone that you haven't thought about in a while. And if it brings up an emotion or a memory. then, I think that would be a message.
So maybe one of the things that we need to look at is what were you thinking prior to smelling it and what you think of after you smell it. So if those are associated, if you don't think anything of it, like it's not something that you pay attention to, like it's there, it's more in the background though, then it's probably not a message. But if it is something that you're like, oh, that's a perm, I smell, thanks, Grandma, just acknowledging it that way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we have to do is pay attention to the before and afters.
I agree.
It's kind of just pausing and stopping and paying attention. Again with the paying attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the pausing and the stopping and the thinking.
Yeah.
Becky, do you want to go over the chakras?
Certainly. Clairalience is primarily associated with the throat chakra. The throat chakra is associated with the center of communication and self-expression. So while typically you think of communication as speaking, it also includes receiving information. So clairalience is a form of receiving non-physical information. So it is directly tied to this energy center. So in many spiritual traditions, the throat chakra is considered the psychic powerhouse because it houses 3 of the clair senses. So you have clairaudience, which is clear hearing, clairgustance, which is clear tasting, and clairalience, which is clear smelling. An open throat chakra is essential for these abilities to actually function efficiently. So one of the other chakras that is connected to clairalience is the root chakra. So the reasoning for this connection is that our sense of smell is actually a primary sense linked to survival and grounding. Therefore, a strong and balanced root chakra can provide a stable foundation for intuitive message to be received through clairalience. Interesting. I guess I wouldn't have associated with the root chakra, but
yeah,
cool. The root chakra is located at the base of your spine. Its color is red, and it's associated with the element of earth. So its primary function is for stability, security, grounding, and survival needs. So that means food, shelter, safety, that sort of thing. So if you're feeling unsafe, anxious, disconnected from your body, the root chakra may be underactive. Now, if you feel like you have a problem with controlling, overly rigid, or overly attached to possessions, then it could be on the overactive side of everything. Now, if you're feeling very steady, very present, at peace with what you have, this usually is an indicator that you have a nice balanced root chakra.
Becky, how do you get more of a balanced root chakra?
I have a few things, very simple, easy things that you can do on a regular basis. The first one is breath work. So this is basically a practice of slow, deep belly breathing while visualizing a glowing red sphere at the base of your spine. And I think this is the one you use, isn't it, Ro?
Yes. I like to see that red sphere spinning.
Ah, yes. So another thing that you can do is just eating root vegetables. So you're talking about your carrots, potatoes, beets, something that's in the ground. Eating very healthy proteins and even earthy spices, those are all things that can contribute to finding a more balanced root chakra. Crystals are another. This is a form of that I love to use. I use, sometimes I'll use red jasper, hematite, or smoky quartz. Those are really good for meditations or just carrying them around in your pocket. Now, for me, I actually think on the left side, we've talked about this, what the left side is for me and the right side for somebody else. So when I put mine on, I put it in my left pocket or my left wrist, depending on what I'm doing. Yeah. I don't know if you have that practice.
Well, it's funny. I wear I wear my Fitbit on my left hand. But yeah, I would normally naturally put stuff on my left wrist than my right.
See, and I don't wear a watch. I don't know why. It's just never been something I've worn.
I like to know how much sleep I'm not getting, so that's why I try.
Understand.
No, they could also wear red.
Oh, yeah, that would be a great idea. Wearing red would be a very grounding, or just seeing, and like, because what you're wearing, and didn't we talk about this one time, is at one point when we were doing a bunch of research, and this was probably in the very beginning, you choose colors by the chakra that you actually need.
And it's funny, the last couple of days I've been wearing blue.
Ooh,
Yeah.
which you were on your mentorship, so that makes sense.
Yeah, because I do have trouble with clairalience, clairgustance, and clairaudience. So,
Oh, yeah.
all three are associated with the throat chakras.
And throat chakra is all blue.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Oh, wow. Very interesting. So basically, in essence, while throat chakra is the main hub for clairalience, the root chakra can also play a supporting role in grounding and integrating the information received. To fully develop this gift, it's beneficial to work on balancing and strengthening both of these energy centers. So, Ro, I know that you've researched a bunch of, like the ear chakra for a clairaudience. Are there smaller or hidden chakras in the body that help us tune into the subtle messages?
Yes, that's a great question because yes, there are. While the major chakras are the most commonly discussed, there are many minor and even smaller chakras throughout the body. The nasal chakra is a great example of a minor chakra that is relevant to clairalience.
Can I be real with you? I didn't even know that there was a nasal chakra, so I need to study up on my chakras.
I did a sacred tree meditation on all the clair chakras.
And I've yet to listen to it yet. I will get there someday, and then, but yes, I know that that's a popular one. So if you feel like you want to travel through all of your chakras, Ro has a beautiful meditation. It's in at Woo Woo Seekers YouTube channel under Sacred Meditations.
It goes through the major chakras and the minor chakras that are connected to all of the clairs.
Very cool.
So the nasal chakra is located at the bridge of the nose and is often considered a sub-chakra of the third eye chakra. So here's why this connection is important. So obviously the physical location, the nasal chakra aligns perfectly with the sense of smell. It's the energetic point that receives and processes subtle information coming through the nose. The third eye chakra is a central hub for intuition, insight, and psychic perception. The nasal chakra acts as a bridge or a specific channel for the third eye to receive intuitive information in the form of scent. Think of the third eye as the computer and the nasal chakra as a specific sensory input device, like a microphone for clairaudience or a camera for clairvoyance. While the throat chakra is associated with psychic communication in a broader sense, the third eye and its related minor chakras, like the nasal chakras, are responsible for processing the information on an intuitive level. It's not just about smelling a scent, but about understanding what that scent means on an energetic or psychic level.
So basically, the throat chakra is the key player. The root chakra is the grounding foundation. And the nasal chakra is a specific energy that directly governs the mechanics of clairalience.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. So you could use Rose meditation on to develop and strengthen your clairalience. It can be very beneficial to focus on your meditation and energy work in this specific area in conjunction with third eye and throat chakra.
We're going to put out a couple of meditation for clairalience. So they should be able to find that at Come Get Woo Woo on our YouTube channel, as well as any meditations at Woo Woo Seekers.
I think it's important that they know that we actually create meditations specifically for whatever episode we are doing, and they would be at Come Get Woo Woo on YouTube.
Perfect.
How would you recognize the scent from one of your pets?
So if I were to look at it, like certain pets had certain smells, but certain ones would, I think, come through differently. So for example, Annie, I would feel her because she's a dog that likes to sleep right next to me and be next to me, and I would feel her. Katara, I think I would smell her because she doesn't have fresh minty breath.
It's not that cute doggy breath.
Yeah. The guinea pigs, I think I would smell because they had a certain smell to them. Yeah. I also had a hamster, so I think like the Cedar shaven, because we had Cedar shavings for her. But for the guinea pigs, we had used more of the cotton bedding. But for them, I think I would smell more hay because we gave them some hay. I also had a dog that had cancer. That was before we even knew he had cancer. He had this big lump on one of his front legs, and you could smell it. It smelled really, really bad. And then I also had another dog that always had a bad ear smells. He was a Shar Pei, and the ears are pretty much closed. So he always had
ear infections.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they would come in a smell that you would recognize. What do you think? What about the duck? Did he have a smell?
I don't remember a smell. See, now I'll probably dream about it tonight, and I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Hey, that happens.
Something to not all of them have smells. Maybe you would just hear them quack.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, I think they would come in all different ways that you would recognize.
That's how the dog came through. That my one dog, that his name was Blue, and he was always in my face all the time, kind of like Annie is for you. Mm-hmm. He was in my face all the time, and that's what he came through. That was my clairvoyance exercise. That was very, very clear. Anyway,
so if one of our woo-woo seekers are new to clairalience and asked how to train their nose, where would you tell them to start?
Well, we thought about this, and we've put together a few different exercises. These are just everyday exercises that you can do. So one of them, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So each morning, set a tiny intention, just a simple one. And you're going to ask Spirit to show you a scent today that lets me know that you are near. And then go about your day. See what unexplained smell shows up. And maybe there isn't going to be one. It'll happen. So another one is just go take a walk and pause and inhale. Like if you're walking on a trail, and you're going to ask, is this all nature or is this a whisper from spirit? So So say you're smelling roses in the winter. Roses don't bloom in the winter if you're in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So, so if you're walking walking on the trail and you smell roses, then maybe sit and think about it, of where it's coming and why it's coming. So another one is ask. So if you associate a certain smell with a person, then just ask them to come and visit you through scent today. So you're asking to be open to perfume, smoke, or other smells that are tied to their memory. You're just going to ask for that information. Just practice. And if you get nothing, that's okay. How about you? Do you know of any other practices?
While we were going over the smells of pets,
Mm-hmm.
do you remember the clairvoyance exercise where you go and you try to imagine your kitchen
Yeah.
in your mind's eye?
Uh-huh.
We could do that with scents too. Try to smell a scent like that, right?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know why you couldn't. I guess I try to do that with candles, sort of. So why couldn't you smell the gas stove or, I don't know, I'm trying like spoiled milk or I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know if I'd want to smell spoiled milk. Probably make me gag.
True. This is I was just thinking of different and distinct smells that are in the kitchen.
Well, not necessarily a kitchen, but trying to re-smell your grandmother's perfume, or certain grannies or people, not just grannies, but people have certain smells about them.
I actually, and I can't remember where I heard this. It was told to me. I don't know if it was one of our teachers or if it was one of my practice partners, and they actually smelt fresh baked bread. So that was, and it didn't mean anything to the person that was reading, but it did make sense to the person that was getting the reading. And it was the scent her grandmother always made fresh baked bread. So
yeah, so it's like imagining those scents in your nose,
Yeah. And that would be in your kitchen. So maybe you're smelling it in the kitchen.
Just thought about it because I don't remember seeing it in our list. So right before you go to sleep, say, Spirit, please bring me a scent in my dreams that helps me remember your guidance. And then when you wake up, smell the air. What kind of scents are you smelling? And then write it down in a journal. So keep a journal by your bed. And then also, whenever you smell something, either physically or psychic, pause and ask, how does this scent make me feel? So
I like that one.
Yeah. So lavender might equal peace. Wood smoke might equal nostalgia. And then over time, you'll build your Claire scent dictionary.
It's also very important, and we've talked about this before, is keeping a journal, a scent journal, any kind of journal. But a scent journal can actually like, oh, I smelled this today. And what you're going to do is you're going to write down when it happened, where were you, what were you doing, and who or what did it remind you of? So this is just like anything else. It's going to build any kind of recognition. So over time, you won't even think about it. You'll just automatically, you'll know. This is an interesting one. This was a blind scent test. So this is where you have a friend and the friend places unlabeled essential oils or spice jars or candles in front of you, and you actually, without looking at anything, just breathing in, and you can try to get the layers of smell or a memory that is on top of it.
You could also close your eyes, pick a random memory, and recall the smell of that moment. and ask, Spirit, can you enhance this or add something new? That one seems like a little hard, unless the memory is associated with smell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, like,
Yep. No, I know what you're talking about. If you're remembering, say a campfire or something like that, and you smell the flames or the wood
mm-hmm.
burning, or even like a house fire, and that's the memory that you carry. Maybe you're asking for more sense.
No, exactly. Like, my sister held Thanksgiving one day. Or
Okay.
one Thanksgiving.
She's going to hate this, isn't she?
and she had a fire going, in her fireplace. And the thing that opens up the flume, I don't know, something was going on, and all this smoke from the fireplace just came into the room. So, like, going home, you smell like, wood fire.
Oh my
So
gosh. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I definitely, that memory is definitely that fire, smoke type of smell with that Thanksgiving. So we could practice mindful smelling. So begin by grounding yourself in your physical sense. Take a moment each day to deliberately notice and appreciate the smells around you. The scent of your coffee, the aroma of your meal, the fresh air after it rains. This practice helps you to awaken your sense of smell and makes you more receptive to subtle, non-physical odors. So I kind of do this while walking through Penn Station. It
Okay.
has lots of smells in Penn Station.
I can imagine.
Well, especially where the food is. So Cinnabon is right there. So I just love cinnamon buns. So
I am right there. Love cinnamon buns. It's my favorite. I love them.
so I do try to at least practice the mindful smelling, even at the train station, like inside the train. Sometimes it smells like it's not good, but it's still a scent that maybe down the line you could recognize.
I'm sure. The biggest thing that you're doing is you're mindfully paying attention to the sense around you.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to finish us off?
I absolutely can. So the last two, one of them's during meditation. Bring a scent with you that is associated with a certain emotion or a person that you want to think about in your mind's eye or your mind's nose, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
and inhale that physical scent and close your eyes and then use your intuition to bring forth that spiritual scent. Kind of, it's like a practice. You're using a physical scent and you're trying to figure out where it is spiritually, and how you associate with it. And
I love
then,
that.
yeah. And then lastly, just a scent grid. So create a personal grid of scents, just like you would anything else, and place essential oils in certain areas or candles in front of you and assign a different intention for each scent. So, such as if you want clarity or love or protection, you associate these with that smell. So, you're basically telling the spirit, okay, so if I want to smell love, jasmine is the one that you want to do. So, you're assigning these things.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, what you're doing is you're telling spirit of like, okay, if you want me to experience the scent of love, this is the one that I will associate with it.
The importance to keep a journal too, to tell you, to remind
Exactly.
you.
Another frickin' journal.
Jasmine is my sign of love, It's this way you know exactly. You don't forget like I would forget.
I guess, you're practicing smells one by one. And then close your eyes, use intuition to bring forth a scent that's most needed in a current situation. You know, that's what that grid would be perfect for, because then you've already associated. So, say, I don't know, you associate, like we talked about, jasmine to love. So if you're smelling jasmine randomly, then maybe pay attention to what's going on around you. And
Love it.
in previous episodes, we've always talked about some of the lesser known clairs. Do you want to lead us on any of those?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, in addition to the 5 main clairs, we have clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, and clairalience. There are several lesser known intuitive abilities that are closely related to clairalience. They often work in conjunction with the sense of clear smelling. So, the first lesser known clair is clairhambience, which is clear vibrations. This is a very subtle and rare clair that involves sensing a vibration of humming energy in a specific part of your body. This is not the same as a physical vibration. Often accompanies a clairalient message with a vibration at the nose or in the throat area, signaling that a message is coming through the scent pathway.
Didn't you have something like that in one of our word meditations?
I did, where my nose was tingling.
Right.
Oh, I don't remember what word though. Yeah, it was the weirdest feeling. It was like almost like a sneeze, that type of feeling. That's what it was like. And then we have clairtangency once again. Clairtangency is the ability to receive information by touching an object or a person. So, for instance, you might touch an old object and get a sudden scent of an old pipe or specific perfume that belonged to the person who owned the object. And then we have clairamenence. This is not a clair in the traditional sense, but more of a psychic sensing of an atmosphere or a place. Clairamenence involves combination of senses. You might walk into a room and get a sudden, overwhelming sense of a past event. This could come with a visual flash, like clairvoyance, a sound, or unexplained smell, which all combine to create an overall impression.
See, and this reminds me of a combination of all your senses, it seems like. You know, you're using whatever senses that you use to give a psychic impression. So clairamenence is kind of accumulation of all of the clairs.
Yes.
Would you say that that would be an accurate statement?
Yeah. It's like you get all 3 at once or all of them at once, and that is your impression that you're getting overall.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So all of these clairs are different expressions of our intuitive senses. They demonstrate how psychic abilities are interconnected and can work together to provide a more complete picture of the information we receive. For someone who is clairalient, they might find that they also have heightened sense of taste or can touch into a feeling through a scent. So, Becky, what are some fun facts that we can talk about for clairalience?
Well, I do have a few, and I found some of them very interesting. So, obviously, the smell is directly tied to brain's memory. That is why one whiff of something, so a clairalient, can bring floods of emotion or recognition faster than sight or smell. So, if you think about it, like if you were to say, I just know that you love hamburgers, right? So if somebody says hamburger, then it automatically does your mouth water, because it's bringing up a certain memory, or the memory of that I was telling you the story about somebody baking, and that is their memory. I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes spirit uses less than glamorous smells. Like,
I love that.
yes. So, like cigarette smell. Cigarette smoke is not very pleasant, or like that stale cigarette smoke, or even, like damp, swampy, like in one of my word meditation, I can't remember which word it was, but I smelled, a swamp. It was not very pleasant. Some families share sensitivities to scents. So a spirit will use this as a doorway to cross generations. Grandma may send you a message by the scent of her cookies, and both you and your kids can smell it.
Oh, I like that one.
I know. I thought that was
Wow.
pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And not every clairalient smell is literal. So smelling a rose might not mean love or spiritual presence. Maybe a cinnamon might suggest warmth or abundance. Sulfur might symbolize negativity being cleared out. So, everything is going to be symbolic. And that's why we created our books. So for you to figure out what those symbols are for you. And there's a whole chapter section on smells. Clairalience isn't limited to just waking life. So you might smell flowers, food, or smoke while dreaming. Um, Spirit often uses scents in dreams because your guard is down. Some believe angels and guides have unique scents. So some of the people link Archangel Michael with frankincense, or Archangel Raphael with fresh herbs. Over time, you may start to recognize who's visiting you by the smell or feeling. I've had that where you have certain feelings for people. So clear tasting, clairgustance, is not linked. You can have clairgustance and not have clairalience, and vice versa. So they often overlap, though. You might taste chocolate out of nowhere, but also smell cocoa. Doubling down on the message is what it is. Ro, do you want to go over some of the myths versus facts that we have collected?
Absolutely. So the first myth I have, it only shows up as a pleasant scent like flowers or perfume, which we already went over before, Becky. It's not always a pleasant scent. So spirit will use any scent to get your attention. Sometimes it's roses, yes, but it also could be cigarette smoke, baking cookies, or even burning rubber if they need to warn you out of danger.
I wish it was only good smells. That would be
Yeah.
a lot better, but I know it's pointless. It's just like you don't always get the good vibes too.
And burning rubber. Oof.
Oh, I hate that smell.
Yeah. The second myth I have is only mediums or psychics can have clairalience. Everyone has the potential. You've probably already experienced it when you suddenly smelled your grandmother's perfume or fresh coffee when no one was brewing it.
Well, some of the ones that I found is if nobody smells it, it's not real. Clairalience is a personal sense. So most of the times others around you won't smell it. That's exactly what makes it clairalience instead of just a normal scent. It happens all the time. Now, this couldn't be further from the truth. Clairalience is one of the hardest ones because you just get a flash of that smell. It's not necessarily going to linger for hours on end. It's going to come and it's going to go. It's going to be super fast, super fleeting. So when you're in a heightened sense of awareness, when you're around certain people, memories, or triggers, that's when it's going to happen. It's when you need to notice it that you're going to notice it. And it's going to come fast and it's going to go just as fast. And it's really, really, that's one, I think this one is a little bit out of all of the clairs, is the hardest one for me, because if you smell it and you're like, again, I doubt myself. So I smell it, so I have to keep smelling it. So if I just get a brief smell of it, then I'm like, okay, it didn't exist.
Right, exactly. That was my imagination.
Right, right. And lastly, clairalience is spooky or weird. It's quite the opposite. It's actually one of the gentlest clairs. And I think one of the things that makes it so gentle is because it is such a fleeting, it comes and goes super fast. Um, Spirit often uses familiar and comforting sense to just let you know that they're close. Many people find it very heartwarming and not scary at all.
I like that.
I think that is probably one of the truest parts of any of these things, any of the clairs whatsoever. I think we make it out to be super scary. I know when I first started, clairvoyance was going to be super scary because I was going to see all these dead people at the end of my bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so not like that.
Yeah.
It's the total opposite. It's actually quite freeing.
I think that the clairs come in a way that you could handle. Like you and I probably wouldn't. I know in the beginning. I don't know if how I'd feel now if I saw dead people at the edge of my bed, but I think it comes in a way that we know we could handle.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. Because when I started it, I was like, yeah, I need all of it all the time. And it's like, no, no, you don't.
Oh, I still want it all at the altar. Yeah. We'd probably go crazy, but it would be
Well,
nice if they all came in.
well, and I think that actually there is something to that. When it comes in too
Mhm.
fast and too overwhelming, that's when people start to think that they're crazy.
That's true.
There is that correlation.
And like reading and math and science, you need to understand them each individually. Just like it would be for each of the clairs, to understand how your clairvoyance works, to understand how your clairaudience works. So I think there's that too that goes with it.
I definitely agree with you, because many times over, like we've seen it where some of our friends, they've gotten way too much information, way too, I mean, strong, and you don't know where to look basically
Mm,
without, you know. So
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, this is a really fun I know so much more about clairalience than I did when we first started. So I'm very thankful for our research.
Yes, I am too. And I'm going to be trying some certain things, like bringing the scent of my old pets and trying to smell them, or, trying one of the other exercise to help strengthen it.
I definitely agree.
So, as we wrap up today's episode on Clairalience, remember that your sense of smell is a powerful channel for your intuitive wisdom. Whether it's a sudden, unexplained scent of a loved one, a symbolic aroma, or a subtle warning, trust that what you're smelling has a message just for you. The more you listen with your nose, the clearer your intuitive guidance becomes. And I just love this episode on exploring the language of scent. Take a moment today to notice the smells around you. Pay close attention to any that don't have a physical source. Every small observation strengthens your gift. There's that pay attention word again,
I know.
Becky. So, do we have anything else to share?
Well, we can share our next episode, and we've touched a little bit on today, but we'll be deep diving into clairgustance, where spirit speaks through taste. It's a unique and often overlooked gift, and I can't wait to share it with you. And also, we have to share our 3 words for the week. So, from the Woo Woo Seeker's Journal, A Journey for Your Signs and Symbols, Book 1, we have compassion, castle, and blanket. So, see what rises, see what resonates. Go to @Woo Woo Seekers on YouTube to listen to our meditations for these words. Thank you.
Thanks for getting woo-woo with us today. If something sparked a memory, a message, or just made you smile, share it with a fellow seeker because the journey is always better when you can grow together. Be sure to find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube @Woo Seekers so you can like, follow, and subscribe.
You can also follow us by visiting our website, comegetwoowoo.com. We are so much more than just another podcast. We're building a community of seekers just like us. We love hearing from you. If you've got signs, symbols, or stories that you want to share, email us at woowooseekers@gmail.com. Or any questions about today's episode, you can email us at comegetwoowoo@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and as always, come get woo-woo with us.